A very good morning to everyone. I, DHIVIYA NAIR, and with me, Farhan Afiq, is going to tell you guys a few stories about the brutal murder that occurred in Malaysia. Some of the killers had been arrested, had received sentence to death, and some of them are still free out there. The first one would be the murder of Datuk Mazlan Idris on July 23rd, 1993. The famous brutal criminals with a scary smile murdered brutally of the Batu Talam State Assemblyman members Datuk Mazlan Idris by cutting Datuk Mazlan's body into 18 pieces. Mona, with her husband Nur Effendi, Abdul Rahman and his assistant Juraimi Hassan, was convicted for the murder committed. Mona, also known as a shaman to local political experts, had offered Datuk Mazlan a stick and an amulet which he said belonged to the former president of Indonesia, Sukarno. Priced over 2.5 million ringgit, Datuk Mazlan took Mona as his private shaman and agreed to pay the deposit of 500,000. The horrible moment struck when Datuk Mazlan being told to lie down facing the ceiling. Mona and Effendi convinced Datuk Mazlan that the money will fall from the sky. Little did he know that it was only a trick from Mona. Then, Juraimi was instructed to slash Datuk Mazlan's neck and continue slashing his body into 18 pieces all by himself. After further investigation, Mona, Juraimi was caught shopping like maniacs with using the money from Datuk Mazlan after he was killed. When the story was spread about the murder of Datuk Mazlan being slashed into 18 pieces makes the big headline in the news, it shocked all Malaysians to their core. Mona, Effendi and Juraimi was finally being sentenced to death together on 22nd November 2001. Mona's corpse was then buried in her hometown Pahang. The most memorable moment is when Mona had smiled and shouted, "I will never die," before she was hanged. So till this day, the crime that she committed was the most brutal crime in Malaysia. Next would be the murder of Al-Tantuya Sharibu on 27 November 2006. A fashion model, Al-Tantuya Sharibu, 28, was found dead in Selangor. The police believe that she was shot in the head twice and her body was blown into pieces. It was understood that C4 explosive used in demolition work were used to blow up her body in effort to destroy all evidence against the suspect. The Malaysian police found fragments of bones and later verified as hers in the forested land near the Subang Dam in Puncak Alam, Shah Alam. After Al-Tantuya went missing about 3 weeks, the Malaysian media report that the information provided by her sister and cousin led to the arrest of 3 police officers: a chief inspector, a woman detective, and a corporal of the local special force. Her sister and cousin lodged police report when Al-Tantuya did not return to her hotel on October 19. Members of the police force were arrested during the murder investigation. The 2 murder suspects have been named as Chief Inspector Azila Hadri and Corporal Sirul Azhar Umar. They had been members of the elite unit Tindakan Khas, the Malaysian Police Special Action Force of Counter-Terrorism Unit, and were both assigned to the office of former Prime Minister Najib Razak, albeit as bodyguards who was also the defense minister at the time of the murder. The police officers were arrested when a lower court ruled there had been gaps in the evidence against them. But on 13 January 2008, Malaysia's highest court overturned the acquittal and reinstated the death sentence. Cyril was not in the court for the decision. The Shah Alam High Court meted out the death sentence of 2 of the accused on 9th April 2009, wrapping up the 159th day trial. That is all from me. I think it's Farhan's turn to tell us more crime stories. Over to you, Farhan.
Thank you, Dia. My name is Farhan Afiq, and I will continue this video on most shocking and brutal murder story that happened in Malaysia. Number 6 is the Tampere murder case. 4 bodies was found dead in horrific, brutal, and including a headless body that believed to be killed in 2 separate houses located near Kampung Batang Rokan Gemenceh, Negeri Sembilan. Victim identified as Atan, 90 years old, who is a former imam of the village, and his wife, Sofia Katas, 80 years old. Their son-in-law, Ismail Awang, 76, and Ismail daughter, Siti Khatijah Ismail, 22 years old. Negeri Sembilan Police Chief, Dato' Osman Saleh, said 4 bodies was believed killed around 10 in the morning, but the incident was discovered after another daughter of Ismail, Siti Mariam, 18 years old, come home from school at 3:30 in the evening. They are knife stabbed at all the victims, and at the last knife is stabbed on the chest of Siti Khadijah. Atan been chopped off his left hand, and Sofia been chopped off his right hand, while Ismail been chopped off his head. The police refused that this case is not a robbery motive and are investigating all possibilities, including misunderstanding. The case is being investigated under Section 302 of the Penal Code, which lead to hanging to death sentences. The suspect, Rashidi Ismail, 34 years old, a banker, was caught at Jalan Masjid India pedestrian bridge after being identified by auxiliary police, who received the picture of the suspect from police headquarters. The police then tried to apprehend Rashidi, and there has been a scuffle between the police and Rashidi for 20 minutes. The suspect was taken to the District Police Headquarters OIPD of Dangwangi, Kuala Lumpur at around 9:20 p.m. Then the suspect led a police team to a location to show where the head of the victim, who is also his own father, buried in the Muslim cemetery in Section 21 Shah Alam. At around 9:45 p.m, suspect carried the head of the corpse from Tampin to Shah Alam by riding an express bus. Suspect then was confirmed to have mental illness. Number 7, the murder case of Datuk Sosilawati. Datuk Sosilawati, 47, her driver, Kamaruddin Shamsuddin, 44, bank officer, Nur Hisham Muhammad, 38, and lawyer, Ahmad Kamil Abdul Karim, 32, were reported missing after they went to Banting for a land deal. Their disappearance made headlines nationwide. Former lawyer N. Patamanaban, 43, and farm workers T. Tilayalangan, 21, R. Matan, 22, and R. Katanayaran, 33, are accused of murdering Sosilawati and her aides at Lot 2001, Jalan Tanjung Layang, Tanjung Sepat, Banting, Selangor, between 8:30 p.m. and 9:40 p.m. on August 30, 2010. A black BMW X5 car with registration WTL11 used by Sosilawati on the day she was reported missing was found at the car park of flat Angsana, Pangsapuri USJ, Subang Jaya, while a black BMW car with registration AAJ5 belonging to Ahmad Kamil was found in an area in front of a double-story terrace housing project near the Grand Dorset Hotel, Subang Jaya. Bukit Aman Federal Police Criminal Investigation on Department Director CID Datuk Seri Muhammad Bakri Zinin confirmed the 4 victims were brutally killed and then burned at a farm while their ashes were strewn in a river nearby. Patamanaban, together with Tilayalangan, Matan, and Katavarayan, were charged in the Teluk Datuk Magistrates Court, Banting, with the murder of Sosilawati, Nur Hisham, Ahmad Kamil, and Kamaruddin. A forensic expert from Kuala Lumpur Hospital, HKL, Datuk Nur Riza Abdullah, testified that 2,030 of the 2,040 specimens found in the river and farm in Banting claimed to be the locations of the murder could possibly be that of human bones and teeth. She also said that the bones showed traces of them being burned or exposed to very high temperature of at least 800 degrees Celsius, Dr. Nurhayati Jaafar, also from the forensic department of HKL, confirmed that 7 of the 10 tooth samples found in at Sungai Pancau and Ladang Gadong said to be the location where the 4 victims were murdered were human teeth. The DNA profile of Nur Hisham was obtained from the blood stain on the cricket bat. She also confirmed that the DNA profiles of Kamaruddin and Ahmad were obtained from the blood stains on zinc sheets that was found in the Sungai Ara oil palm plantation in Banting. Judge Atta sentenced to death the 4 accused after finding them guilty of murdering Sosilawati, Nur Hisham, Ahmad Kamil, and Kamaruddin. Number 8. The rape and the murder case of Suzaili bin Mokhtar. On October 7, 2000, Nur Suzaili Mokhtar, a computer engineer worker, boarded a public bus to work, but something unexpected has happened, where Suzaili was raped and killed by the bus driver. The bus driver said to have dropped off all the passengers except Suzaili before taking a different route and do it in the place of crime. The bus driver then moves back on the road where Nur Suzaili seen knocking on the door of the bus and asked for help by a key witness who was a young boy. That was the last time she was seen alive. Yet, the former Kiara Express bus driver put up a different show when he was led outside the court. After the judgment, he tried to kick press photographers. Offender, a man who was married and had children, Mat Hassan Hanafi, was found guilty and sentenced to hang by the Shah Alam High Court on 25 April 2002 for the murder of Nur Suzaili, 24, between Lorong Hile, Taman Bayu Perdana, and housing project construction on site in Taman Bukit Tinggi, Klang, which is between the hours of 8:50 in the morning to 9:15 a.m. on October 7, 2000. The accused, who has been married 4 times, also was sentenced to 20 years and 12 lashes on charges of rape victims. Sentence of imprisonment imposed is the maximum under Section 376 of the Penal Code. Hanafi was sentenced to death in 2008. Number 9. The Mamali Incident. The Mamali Incident was a major and controversial incident that occurred in the remote village of Mamali, Baling, in the Malaysian state of Kedah on 90th November 1985. A team of 200 policemen under orders from the acting Prime Minister and Home Minister Musa Hitam laid siege to kampung houses in Mamali, near Baling in Kedah. The houses were occupied by an Islamic sect of about 400 people led by Ibrahim Mahmud, aka Ibrahim Libya. Ibrahim was a local religious teacher who had received part of his education at the University of Tripoli in Libya, hence his nickname Ibrahim Libya. The police wanted to arrest Ibrahim Mahmud under the Internal Security Act for creating discord and disharmony, but he refused to give himself up. Ibrahim was also accused of harboring 2 brothers, Yusuf Chekmit and Ramli Chekmit, who were fugitive. Revered by the village folks who call him Ustad Ibrahim, they vowed to defend him to the death. The outcome of this incident is that Ibrahim Libya was killed in this incident. The police action left 40 civilians and 4 policemen dead. The villagers were armed with a few hunting rifles and also a spear and other rudimentary weapons. The police used heavy vehicles. At the height of the assault, some villagers, men and women, come out in the open in a state of frenzy and hysteria. Police detained 159 people, including women and children. 36 persons involved in the incident were arrested under the Internal Security Act on January 1986, but later released in June. Number 10, the last but not least, the murder case of UiTM Permatan Power student at Plus Highway in the district of Taiping. This tragic case happens on February 2015. The chronology of the case started when suspect goes to see the victim to return the laptop that suspect borrows from the victim. Then the victim was persuaded by the suspect to ride along with him. The friend of the victim, who knows that victim was going out with the suspect, is curious of what will happen. Then she calls the victim parents to inform them. On 11 in the morning, parents of the victim called the suspect parents to inform them regarding of this matter. Know about their son's action on kidnapping the victim. The parents of the suspect try to convince the suspect to return the girl, but it is too late. The victim was being stabbed and currently in a critical condition. Shocked and sad about the news, the parents of the victim rushes to hospital Kuala Kangsar, but it was too late. During their journey, police calls them to inform that their daughter was passed away. The result from the postmortem shows that the victim died because of stabbing in the throat, which is 6 cm long, that snapped the carotid artery, which caused severe bleeding. The witness said that a Proton Perdana stopped in the emergency lane. Witness also saw the suspect pull the hair of the victim and asked the victim to exit the car. After the scene, the victim was left at the roadside and the suspect goes to the hillside of the highway to throw the knife that had been used to stab the victim. Suspect was detained and charged for murdering under 302 Act. On March 2019, the court was ruled that suspect was found guilty of murder and was sentenced to death by hanging. Surely there have been a lot of interesting, controversial, brutal, and shocking murder cases in Malaysia. The lesson that we can learn is that there is no person in this world that can take other people's life. Life is too short to commit a crime, so don't waste our life. That is all from us. Thank you for watching.